30,000 years ago, if you heard wolves at night, you ran. Today, one is probably asleep on your couch. Nobody planned this. Nobody invented dogs. In fact, dogs may have invented themselves. Here's the accident that created your best friend. For most of human history, wolves were monsters. If you were a human living 30,000 years ago, hearing wolves at night meant danger. You were small, slow, and surrounded by predators that could smell you from miles away. Wolves hunted in packs. They had massive jaws, terrifying endurance, and eyes that worked far better in the dark than yours ever could. And yet somehow, out of all the animals humans encountered, wolves became our closest companions. Today, there are more than 900 million dogs on Earth. They sleep in our beds, guard our homes, detect bombs, herd sheep, rescue people from avalanches, and wear little birthday hats while sitting next to cakes. But dogs were never planned. No human tribe sat down and said, "We should invent a fluffy animal that plays fetch." Dogs were created by accident. And the strangest part? Wolves may have started domesticating themselves before humans even realized what was happening. To understand how this happened, imagine the world during the Ice Age, around 20,000 to 40,000 years ago. Humans lived as hunter-gatherers, small bands of maybe 20 to 50 people moving constantly across enormous landscapes searching for food. Life was brutal. Most hunts failed. Winter killed people constantly. A broken leg could mean death. And at the edge of every human camp, just outside the firelight, wolves waited. Now here's the part nobody talks about. Humans are messy eaters. Even during starvation, hunter-gatherers left behind bones, scraps, skins, and partially eaten carcasses. To a wolf, a human camp was basically a moving pile of free calories. At first, wolves probably approached cautiously. The bold ones crept closer. The aggressive ones got speared. The terrified ones stayed far away and got nothing. But somewhere in those wolf populations, a few individuals were different, less fearful, less aggressive, more curious. And over generations, those wolves survived better than the aggressive ones. The friendlier wolves got more food. The calmer wolves stayed closer to camp. The hyper-aggressive wolves died. Evolution was quietly selecting for friendliness. This sounds fake, but scientists have actually watched this happen in real time. In 1959, a Soviet geneticist named Dmitry Belyaev started an experiment in Siberia using foxes. He wanted to understand how domestication worked, so every generation he selected only the tamest foxes for breeding. That's it. No training, no tricks, just breeding the least aggressive foxes over and over again. Within a few decades, the foxes started behaving like dogs. They wagged their tails, they whined for attention, they licked people's hands. But then something even stranger happened. Their bodies changed too. Ears became floppy, snouts shortened, fur developed white patches, tails curled. Nobody told their DNA to do that. It just happened. Scientists now call this domestication syndrome. When you breed for calmness, softer physical features seem to follow automatically. Smaller jaws, rounder faces, floppier ears. Which means the first proto-dogs may have started looking less intimidating long before humans intentionally bred them. Imagine standing in an Ice Age camp and seeing wolves nearby that looked slightly smaller, slightly calmer, slightly less terrifying than normal wolves. Not pets yet, but not fully wild anymore either. And humans probably noticed the benefits fast. Wolves hear things before humans do. They smell predators from huge distances. They track prey better than any human ever could. A wolf hanging around camp was basically a living alarm system. Bears approaching? The wolves reacted first. Strangers nearby? The wolves noticed. Prey animals close? Wolves helped locate them. Once both species started helping each other survive, the relationship accelerated. This is why dogs are considered the first domesticated animal in human history. Earlier than sheep, earlier than goats, earlier than farming itself. And when humans eventually invented agriculture, dogs evolved again to stay with us, gradually developing the ability to digest starch far better than wolves could. Think about that. They were adapting to us before the invention of writing, before cities, before metal tools, before the pyramids. But here's what really gets me. When a human stares into a dog's eyes, both species release oxytocin, the same hormone involved in bonding between parents and children. Wolves don't do this with humans. Dogs do. Your Labrador staring at you lovingly is not random behavior. Evolution shaped dogs to emotionally connect with human brains. Dogs even evolved facial muscles specifically to make expressive faces, the kind humans instinctively respond to.
Those puppy dog eyes aren't manipulation. They're the result of thousands of years of two species falling for each other. In Germany, archaeologists discovered a grave from around 14,000 years ago. Inside, a man, a woman, and a dog, buried carefully beside them. The dog had suffered from a severe illness as a puppy but survived for weeks or months afterward, which means Ice Age humans, struggling to survive in one of the harshest environments imaginable, were spending precious food, time, and energy nursing a sick dog back to health. That is not usefulness anymore. That is attachment, friendship, maybe even love. No master plan, no grand invention, just scraps beside a fire, cautious animals creeping closer in the dark, and evolution slowly turning fear into one of the greatest partnerships in the history of our species. 30,000 years ago, if you heard wolves at night, you ran. Tonight, one is probably going to fall asleep somewhere near you. It doesn't know any of this happened, but now you do. And if this made you see your dog differently, share it with someone who has one. If you want more stories like this, the weird, accidental, beautiful ways the world actually works, subscribe. I drop a new one every week.